Hello and welcome to Jrock's Babylon. I'm your host, Jason Jrock Houston, and we got two of the members of the band. Um, who on earth? Why don't you guys introduce yourself? We'll start with Coosh.
I am Coosh here in Arkansas.
And Coosh, you were the frontman and the lead singer of this project. That correct?
That I am.
Okay, and then we also have the bass player, Pete. Pete, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I'm Pete Rizzi. I am the bass player.
And Pete, since you're on screen, why don't you share with us your history with the band? Are you an original member? Was this an established act? How did you guys all come together?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you the cliff notes. Kush and I are the only two original members. We formed the band back in 2020 or maybe late 2019. We were playing in cover bands, bar bands called Madhouse, doing all covers, and we got fed up with that gig, and we said, hey, let's write some of our own stuff. We felt at the time there wasn't a lot of good new music coming out, at least the kind of music that we had grown up with, and we wanted to take a stab at it. And we wrote 10 songs and put the band together, and we've been hustling and grinding ever since. But yeah, Kush and I are the original members.
And so, Kush, how long have you and Pete known each other? I mean, when you first met him, was there a chemistry among you guys right away? And the reason I ask is obviously you're a core of a band. You guys have been together the longest. So talk a little bit about your history with Pete.
Well, if we didn't hit it off right at the bat, I don't think we'd be here right now. It was good. Yeah, I mean, right from the moment we met, we were good friends, and we've I guess we're going on 9 years now.
Yeah.
We starting on with the little cover band thing, and playing all the clubs, and he got the itch, wild itch. He's like, I'm done. I want to write music. And I'm like, you better believe it. I'm all in. What do we got to do? Sign me up.
And so, Kush, I understand from reading a little bit up on the band that you were heavily influenced by the new wave of British heavy metal. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I loved all that stuff. I mean, I like everything from Duran to Wasp. I'll listen to it all.
Oh, that's cool. That's a wide cross section. But I mean, I'm guilty of that myself because as much as I'm into hard rock and metal, I also have appreciation for stuff that, everything from the Eagles, the Beatles, Tom Petty, Elvis Presley. A lot of that stuff came before me, but you know what? It's still being played 40 years, 50 years later on the radio. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, how about you, Pete? Who are some of your influences? I guess as far as your favorite bass heroes when you were growing up.
For me, it was all really about Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. When I first started looking at the album covers and getting into the band and me being like, that's the bass. Wow, the bass is doing that, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And then from there, it was Geddy Lee and even some Gene Simmons and John Paul Jones, Geezer Butler, all those guys.
All those cats you mentioned are very interesting for the simple fact that, oftentimes, the lead singer and the guitar player will get kind of all the glory, if you will. But like Steve Harris, Geezer Butler in particular, these are two guys that like they're the primary songwriters in those bands. I mean, if you check out the writing credits, it was Geezer Butler that wrote all those lyrics, not Ozzy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. And they took the bass and brought it up front, and
Yeah,
and made it a prominent part of the songs,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is what I really liked. Yeah,
And then you even look at you mentioned like guys like Gene Simmons and Geddy Lee, and they take it the extra mile because you look at Geddy Lee, he's not just a killer bass player. He's up there playing the bass, the keyboards, he's singing lead, and then Gene's also he's playing bass and singing lead too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think Gene Simmons gets a lot of credit as a bass player, but early on, those early albums like Detroit Rock City, those bass lines were phenomenal. And my guitar teacher wanted to show me all sorts of notes and theory, and I was like, I want to learn Detroit Rock City. Yeah. Show me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As far as Kiss, they just came out with like these two great box sets, one for Alive and one for Dress to Kill. They're both turning 50 years old. Kiss is celebrating 50th anniversary. I'm a lifelong Kiss fan, so
Hmm.
I can kind of see that in your band. Who um, who's on Earth because just watch as I was telling Cooch, just watching the video for Jane, it's quite theatrical. You guys get dressed up, made up. I don't know, not quite in makeup, but I guess you're trying to look like Jefferson Starship because you cover their song Jane, you guys do a great cover because initially Jefferson Starship, but you guys kind of metalize it and you put your own stamp on it, which is really great. The video itself, I understand, took at least 4 or 5 hours maybe to shoot. Share with us, Pete, your memories of making the video.
Oh man, that was the most fun we've had. A lot of our videos and a lot of our songs, our original songs are, yeah, they tend to be about serious topics and whatnot. We're usually, rebelling against something or trying to talk about something a little deeper. But in between album cycles, we like to do covers. Like we had done Hold the Line, and then we picked Jane. And the idea for the visual was just to have fun and dress up. We literally ordered those outfits on Amazon for like $20,
And,
and
and
we
you guys
had
still
such
you
a
guys still have
blast.
those costumes? Any chance that you'll be putting them up when you go on stage?
Maybe the wig, but yeah, I don't know. But dude, we had so much fun doing that. It was like the most fun time we've had, like doing a video or maybe doing anything. And the cool thing is that it came through, in the
Yeah, yeah,
final
yeah.
final
And
product.
and, and Koosh, as I was talking with you before P came on, watching that video, what I really loved about it is the theatrical aspect. Wearing the costumes and all that. And again, I love the fact that you guys didn't go for the obvious cover. Being a metal band, somebody might say, "Hey, maybe they'll cover Black Sabbath or Rob Zombie," and
Hmm.
that would have been cool too. But using your little bit of comedy factor there, not going for the obvious choice. I mean, people are going to maybe be turned, uh, you know, want to go and check out the original Jefferson Air Starship version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, look, that's where it all started, right? In the late 70s and mid
Yeah.
70s. And yeah.
And Kush, so let's talk about the two covers. I mean, why did you pick those two songs to cover? Because again, hold the line, the Toto song. You guys metalized it up and you really put your stamp on it.
Well, like I've said before, one of the greatest things is Toto has the greatest session musicians ever. The talent that was there, and there was a little bit of me just kind of because we were kind of doing it as a little bit of a just cover that we played with, and then we talked about possibly, maybe we should do this song, like do it. And I started singing it one time, and I did this one line, I ended up hold the line, love isn't always on time.
Yeah.
And Pete dug in and he's like, that's it. Don't
Yep.
forget that. Record that right now. And we did, and then we just went from it for there. But then going to Jane seemed like the perfect recipe because we took all the keyboards out of Toto's Hold the Line, and we did the same thing with Jefferson's. Take all the keyboards out, replace it, and tune it down, crunch it up, I mean, it just fit the profile, and it's
Yeah.
a great song.
Yeah, and again, I love the fact that you went with like, you might think, okay, you're going to do like Starship, maybe do We Built This City or something like that, but that's been overheard, overplayed, if you will. As much as it's a great song, you give it a little love to a different song, from the '70s. Yeah,
Yeah, both of those songs too are actually kind of heavy, even though we heavy them up a little more. But like,
yeah,
especially Jane has that driving, heavy sound to it, and
yeah.
yeah,
And Koosh, being that you're the front man and the lead singer, I got to tell you, in prepping for tonight's interview, I went on your YouTube page. I was checking out some of the music videos, and as great as those two covers are, I tell you, the original stuff just, I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's really special. It sounds like nothing I've heard before. Is that something you guys set out to do? That as far as original tunes, we want to kind of have our own sound.
Well, that was one of the big things is once we got finished making the music, and I mean, we're just making music. We weren't trying to sound like anybody. We
That's what I
wanted to
mean. Yeah,
write. And a lot of this is from Pete's childhood. He brought these songs from when he was very young. And he even said, is your most, talented time for creating?
yeah, yeah.
And we brought him in and then put a spin on him. And then everyone's like, what do you guys sound like? I'm
hmm
like, exactly. I don't know. What do we sound like? And everyone's like, well, you sound like everybody,
yeah,
all mixed in. It's a big pot stirred up. And I don't know. I mean,
I
how do
mean,
you get guys in
I mean,
their,
I
in
think
an
you guys,
audience?
like just going off the videos that you guys have put out so far, I think you guys could do a lot of with your project. I mean, definitely make records, go out and play live. But I could see this being like a Kiss type thing where, you know what, maybe we go and do a movie based on, some of his songs, or we could, I don't know, make a Who's on Earth a cartoon or something. I could see you guys, maybe being able to do something like that if the money, of course, came your way, right?
Right, right. Big if,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They say the possibilities are endless, or just to dream big, right? Think
Yeah,
big.
yeah. Well, that's exactly what we're doing. We got a lot planned, and we got a lot coming up. We have a whole set of new songs that we're getting ready to put out, putting the finishing touches on. We're going to be working on some touring, and we have a lot. We're redoing our website. We're really building up the foundation for
So,
2026.
so obviously, even though Jane is a cover song, it's obviously the title of your, upcoming album. So talk a little bit about that. Why you thought that would be a good title, Jane? Just because that's the first thing a lot of people have heard.
Well, Jane is just the title. That's just a single. So we'll probably throw it on the album, but the album that we're going to put out is going to be called It Takes the Village. But
Ah,
Jane is just a single. So yeah, we'll have a whole different set of a whole different cover and whatever. Well, Jane is something we wanted to put out, like I said, in between the album cycles
yeah,
because we
yeah.
want to, it's fun. We like to take a little breather, do something fun, and then we'll be back to like the more serious songs and concepts. And we try to get a little cerebral and a little rebellious in some of our lyrics and songs, and we'll be right back to that in the new year.
So I guess I'll ask you guys each this. As far as recording and performing live, do you have a preference, or do you equally like doing both?
Oh, playing live is where it's at. I mean, now don't get me wrong, studio is exhilarating because a lot of creativity happens in there. We sit down and stuff that comes spontaneous stuff is just incredible. But to be, on the stage in front of people, that's where it is.
That feedback, you get the feedback you get, like the roar of a crowd.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and how about Pete? Pete, like as far as the album, do you guys have a release date? Do you have a projected time when you think it might come out?
We'll probably go with a few singles early in the new year. First quarter, I'd like to have two singles out with videos, and then we'll see how they're doing. We have a couple songs that we think really might do well at radio, like mainline radio. But
Okay.
we're going to decide all that in the next month and get ready, pick out what the singles are, and put together a full release plan. But we like to dribble out some singles and give a couple songs their little like time, to themselves with videos, and then I would think sometime in the second quarter, like the full album would come out.
So as far as getting your songs played in that, have you had like mostly internet radio, or have you gotten played on metal radio? I mean, what's been the feedback so far?
It's been great. I mean, we've been doing a lot of podcasts. We've been using online radio like Rock Rage Radio, some main radio, but mostly it's mostly online radio and whatnot. And
Yeah,
it's been
that's
great.
kind of a way to go now, and you just never know who's going to pick it up. I mean, this is a great time to be releasing new music. Like, I don't know, being from New Jersey, New York, if you guys are aware who KNAC are. It's a little radio station from Long Beach, California, where I'm from. They've been pretty
Mm.
big, on the internet for years, and they're coming back now on the radio. So there's all kinds of different sites that if you could latch on to get them to, you know, interview you guys or feature your music, that would be really great. Because I think there's a place for a band like this. I mean, you guys, the music's over the top, the videos are over the top. I think it's just a matter of more people finding out about the band.
Yeah, we agree, and that's why we're talking to everybody. We love when guys like you are talking to independent artists like ourselves. It really helps, and the more we do, the more reach we'll get, and hopefully it'll
Yeah.
start to snowball a little.
And the cool thing about watching those videos is they are so over the top that like I got it I got to share with you, Pete. Like was telling Koosh, when I watched the video for the first time for James the other night, um, it's like, oh man, I got to interview these guys. Just watching the video, it's super cool. It really got my attention, and I think I've always been a guy that loves to laugh, and so I love the fact that there's a comedy factor to what you guys do. And I think it's equally impressive that a lot of bands, they make it covering other people's music, and there's nothing wrong with you guys put out these covers because again, you put your what I love about what you guys did is it's not just a dead on cover
Mm,
trying to sound like Jefferson Starship. You put your stamp on it. I mean,
yeah.
people are going to see this video and going to be asking, "Oh, Jefferson, oh, that's a cover, you mean?" Yeah, yeah. And so let me ask you, Coosh, as far as the name, I always love to ask people, how did you come up with a name, Who on Earth? Because again, it's a great, oh, Who on Earth? It's big, it's kind of what are they talking about, but it gets your attention.
Well, the main premise of it was like, who on earth is going to keep making this great music?
Uh,
Who on earth is going to get the younger generation to stay, active and do it? And, proving that we could do it, maybe it'll bring the younger generation in.
Yeah, because I was reading the press release on the band, and it said something to that effect that you guys, like, you're influenced by 4 decades of great rock music, and you want to kind of continue to wave the rock and roll flag or whatever, how you want to put it, or if it,
Yeah.
Exactly.
grab the torch and run with it. But so how would you? What are your feelings on that? You hear people say rock is dead. I don't think rock is dead. I don't think we have a lot of rock stars, like we do. There's bands like the Dead Daisies that are still out there doing it and waving the rock and roll flag. But that's what I love about what you guys are doing. People watch these videos and they listen to the songs. It's so over the top. It's so huge. It's like I think watch a video like me. You want to go see the band live if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, look, people call us retro. They call us all sorts of stuff like that, and we take it as a compliment. We are a product of what we grew up with. We don't want it to die. We think it's as relevant now as it's always been. Unfortunately, in this country, and nothing against the Taylor Swifts and the Ed Sheerans, but that's what dominates radio. It's pop oriented, but that's not everywhere, and it's not everywhere in the country, and it's not everywhere in the world. You go over
Yeah.
to Europe, you go to South America, you go to the middle of the country, hard rock and heavy metal still very relevant. And
Oh, sure. It's and the unique thing about metal fans is like they're quite united, if you know what I mean. Like you see, like even probably at your concerts, you see kids in the crowd, and they're everybody's doing the same thing. They're all there for the love of metal.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
spirit is still alive. And look, a lot of us bring our kids to shows. You go to shows now, you see a lot of guys with their kids. The torch is being passed. We
yeah,
just want
yeah.
to be part of that.
You just want to grab onto it and, and be
Yeah.
part of it. Yeah. Now, Koosh, let me ask you. I love the name. So, how did you come up with Koosh? I mean, again, I'm kind of like you're a character, I guess.
Hmm.
Well, it's a lot simpler than that. It's my last name, but we made it phonetically correct. My full name is Andrew Coosh, and we had Mr. Michael Kaplan. He was like, "Yeah, you should stick with just the Coosh because I don't like Andrew's not a hard rock name. I'm lined up with Pete Rizzi, Johnny James, Jimmy Kacha, and Andrew Coosh. So you know,
Hey, did your
so
mom ever call you? Did your mom and dad ever call you Andy?
no one ever. That's kind of weird. I get called Drew or Andrew or Koosh.
Oh,
And
okay.
if you get nobody gets Couche right,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
they're not going to. So just
That's fun.
Coosh. There you go.
Now, let me ask you, as far as the name Koosh, did people just start calling you that, or did you just, like tell them to call you that?
Oh no, it's always been like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
people
they either
just
call
kind
me
of,
Koosh.
yeah, that's
It
cool. That's
came
cool.
real natural once I started doing it. Everyone it just rolls off everybody's tongue. It works.
Yeah, that's kind of cool too. When people just, it's better, I think, when people give you the nickname than you just telling them. Like when I first started doing these interviews, like 17 years ago, I started going by the name of Jason Jrock, and people just started without me telling them, "Hey, Jrock, what's up?" And so that's when I launched this new channel that I'm doing now. That's why it's called it Jrock's Babylon. Keeping the name alive, as they say. So you guys just working on finalizing the new album, and you think that'll be out in 2026?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. We did our
Definitely.
last bit of tracking just 2 days ago with Johnny. So just a little more guitar. It's like we're kind of taking the paint and just doing a little touch up and stuff. But it's done. We'll now have roughs for the team, and we'll decide on singles and all that stuff. And so yeah, definitely in 2026, early 26, we'll have it. We'll have a new single out.
That's great. Now, a couple other original songs I want to ask you guys about. Again, bit of a comedy factor. I was watching like there's a video for a song, Lobotomy.
Hmm.
That was a fun one. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's all about melting our brains on our phones and our computers and social media and news and everything else. You
yeah,
just we're being attacked mentally by every angle.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and then like the chorus says, when you look back, how simpler everything was back in the day.
yeah, yeah. And then how about dogs? I love it. I love the fact that it's spelled Dawgz.
Yeah, dogs is our basically our cry against big pharma and corporate America and how, people are just numbers and, they don't care about the health of the people. They just care about keeping them sick and making money. And it's
Now,
all.
was any of that at all based on what everybody went through with COVID?
It was really more when I thought about it, I was really thinking more of the OxyContin
Oh,
and the big drug recalls,
yeah,
and how they marketed something like OxyContin and how many lives it took,
yeah, yeah,
and the deceptive marketing practices and all that. And at the end of the day, they don't care about the human effect on people and families. It's just the bottom line.
yeah, yeah. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I got to ask because you guys you got new music you're working on. There's going to be a new album early next year. A few more years, you think? Would you ever would you ever consider like doing? I think would be cool, like Christmas album.
we we actually were in the process of trying to do it, and then we realized we didn't have the time to get it out. We got so much in the hopper already
Yeah,
that
maybe a
but
couple of
oh
years from
yeah,
now. Yeah,
we'll probably throw a couple out next year. I mean, it
'cause
just makes
yeah,
sense.
you wouldn't believe. I don't want to say necessarily money, but a lot of bands are doing that these days. I know this guy Mick Michaels. He's a guitar player from Corners of Sanctuary, and the last several years they've been releasing like a Christmas single every year. It became like something they were known for doing. They got like 10 or 11 new, tunes they put out, Christmas tunes, and then he started also releasing like just this year he released a CD of Halloween inspired music, and
Mm.
and and it's kind of funny too if you consider like Twisted Sister years later, after they sold all those copies of Stay Hungry, the big night album with I Want to Rock. Um, their best-selling album now is Twisted Sister Christmas that came out several years ago now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think
Good
it's
for
something
them.
to start working on maybe in July and not
Yeah, yeah,
October,
yeah,
November like we were going to do this year.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
me and Koosh talked, we want to write our own Christmas song.
Yeah,
We don't
that'd be
want to do
fun.
Little Drummer Boy or anything.
Again, like I said, I'm getting a little head of it, but I think there's a possibility to do something like that down the line. And let me ask you, Kush, how did you come up with the name Who on Earth?
Oh, well, we wanted to keep everybody going. We wanted to keep the legend of rock going. So who on
Oh,
earth's
that's
going to
right.
keep it
I
going?
see. I'm so into what you're saying. I just it went over my head. I apologize,
He's
but
trying to trick you, Koosh, into answering the question differently.
Yeah,
yeah, there you go. There you go.
still the same answer.
Yeah,
Same
okay,
answer.
okay. I'm sorry. I'm so into what you're saying, but I guess we'll end it here. Talking about all this Christmas time of year, everything. Have you ever, Kush, anybody mistaken you for Santa Claus? Because you got that look.
It happens all the time. I was
Yeah.
just walking. I was at Pete's house over the weekend, and I was walking down, and they were doing a Christmas shoot out in the park. And I'm walking along, and they're like, "Hey, you'd make a
Yeah, you,
great Santa." I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Yeah,
And you
yeah,
got the
yeah,
real
yeah."
beard. It's not like one of those ones you pull off. you know, um, you probably heard the famous story about ZZ Top that Gillette offered those guys like $1 million to shave off their beards, and they wouldn't do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's great.
That's tempting, but wow. Yeah.
Well, it was great getting to know you guys, and I really love to have you back because once the album comes out and get a chance to hear some more of your great music. So anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up for tonight?
I just like to say we appreciate guys like you and ladies like you who do these podcasts and give us the opportunity to talk about our music. And yeah, we'll love to come back,
Okay.
hopefully early in the year. We'll let you know when we have new stuff coming out and jump back
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. It was a real pleasure. You guys take care, and thanks for. I know it's. Let me ask you, you guys are coming from New Jersey tonight, right?
Yes.
I know it's probably super late where you are. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for agreeing to do this, though. I really appreciate that.
We
And
appreciate you, Jason. Thank you so much.
our
Take care,
pleasure.
guys. Bye bye.
Thanks, buddy.